The quicker you get your money, the quicker you lose it. If you're running a business and it took you 3 years to start making any significant money, if you had to start all over again, it'd probably take you half that time to start making that money back. But if you win the lottery and you make $1 million, the money will leave you just like that. And to even make $1 million to begin with, right? Let's say you lost it, have to start all over again, you would not know how. And this is exactly why you don't always want to be getting money as quickly as possible. You know what I'm saying? But let's tap in.
Sweet one looking like a Kardashian. So bad, it don't matter what card that she in. Give her season wood, now she back again. It shows she's
Boom, Wagwan, brother. Welcome back to another installment of Edutainment. How you doing today? Hopefully you're doing more and saying less. It's the place where you are laughing, being entertained, but most importantly, where you are learning something that you can apply to your own personal life and make it better. So we're going to be critiquing Mr. Dwayne Wade's financial history, the worst money he's ever blown. No long talk, let's get into it.
I'm Dwayne Wade, and I'm going to tell you about the worst money I've ever spent and the best money I've ever spent. Let's start with my worst money.
Hey, I got the sauce, yeah. Hey.
When I was in college and I knew I was going to enter the draft, I had my eyes on this blue Escalade. I seen someone driving it down the streets of Milwaukee, and I was like, I get some money, I'm gonna go get me one of those. So I think the color was like electric blue, and I had 26-inch rims on it that were blue. I put spinners on it, and that was when the song, we riding spinners, they don't stop. So I just pull up to the light, roll my window down, turn the song up. But that was the first thing I went and bought.
When it comes to cars, right?
Let me tell you something, sweetheart. I don't know how y'all do shit where you from, but let me tell you something. Where I'm from, we don't do shit like that.
You want to buy the car at least 3 or 4 years after its initial release date, because that's the point where most of its depreciation is gone, right? It makes no sense to buy something that's going to depreciate in value. You may as well buy it when most of its depreciation is already gone, right? That's why the ROI, your return on investment of a car, is so low. Anytime you buy stuff, just get into the habit of calculating, is this a positive ROI, return on investment, on my money, or even time too, right? Say a house versus a car, you know, or opening a franchise in comparison to a car, you know, just stuff in general. Like when it comes to like even regular stuff on Amazon that you buy, is like, is this really going to add value to my life, whether it be health-wise, spiritually, financially, relationship-wise? Is this making my life any better, really?
I'm semi, I stay automatic. Money add then multiply. I call it mathematics.
Right? Because a lot of the advertising it makes you feel like you need to have stuff when you don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get like hoarders and people who just keep a lot of stuff. You need to have a minimalistic approach to your life, right? Just the less stuff you have, the less you have, the happier you really are, to be honest.
Early in my career, I didn't have a financial advisor. I didn't trust anybody, I didn't know anybody. So I was kind of just doing it on my own, and I had this like plan. I'm like, okay, if I can save $1 million out of this 2-point-some million dollars that I'm making, like, that'd be good. And I think I end up saving.
But look at that. You are on YouTube getting free financial literacy, courtesy of myself and other people. You know? When it comes to savings, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Always pay yourself first. Before you pay the bills, before you pay anybody else, pay yourself first. Let's say you have $3,000 coming into your account this week or every 2 weeks. Get into the habit of putting 20%, 30%, whatever you can put into your savings account, just so that you have money there. The goal should be to have $1,000 in your savings account, and then the next goal should be to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your savings account. Because most people, when they say you get fired, right? You need that leeway time, that leverage time to be able to find a new job. And for a lot of people, based on those studies I've looked at, takes about 6 months to find an adequate job. So you have 6 months of leeway time to either find a new job, or let's say, for example, you yourself decide to quit. Now you can focus on your rapping career, you can focus on your YouTube, or focus completely on your side hustle, right? And you have that time. And perhaps you still want to work. You can take a part-time job, have your 3 to 6 months worth of expenses covered, and work on the side hustle that will make you happy and ideally bring you more income in the long run, you know? So, yeah.
Saving, none. Like, I spent all of it. I went through it. My family had needs, but I regret not having someone early in my career to help teach me about all of this money. I went from making $200 some odd in college to becoming a millionaire overnight, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was just sending my credit card to people like, hey, can I get that Bentley? I never.
One other thing, just in general, if you don't have $1,000 in your savings account minimum, don't use a credit card. Honestly, you want to build the financial muscle of saving rather than spending, and you only do that by getting into the habit of saving. And if you aren't able to even save $1,000, how will you be able to handle a credit card?
After someone said, hey, what do you think I should get this right now? Or you think I should purchase this house right now? I just kind of did it all on my own, and that is not smart, people. Have somebody that's smarter than you that can help you with your money. I wish I would have learned early on how to spend my money correctly. I would be a lot richer today. Well, I've lost money gambling. So I'm not a big gambler. I don't go to casinos and gamble, but when you play sports, it's like a rite of passage that you have to play cards on the plane. It's kind of like a team thing. It's how we connect, how we bond. And I've lost a lot of money on the plane just trying to play with my teammates. It's been times where I wanted out because like I was losing so much money. Like my finance advisor called me and said, hey, is this something we need to talk about? Do you have a problem? So losing money by gambling to me is the worst way to lose money. I'm not into it, so I'm glad that's over with. As a parent, when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to Christmas, when it comes to holidays, you buy your kids all these presents. They don't play with none of them. Like my daughter, I buy her all these presents she want to play with a box or a bag from the grocery store. And it's like, why do we go all out and your kids just want to play with the simplest thing like shoestrings in a shoe? So I think we need to get smarter as parents and start buying them shoestrings and shoes instead of buying them all these extravagant gifts that they never play with. So, yes.
Honestly, the best gifts I can ever get is paid bills, right? Let's say it's your birthday or it's Christmas. Tell people that you know are gonna get you stuff. Just tell them, yo, don't get me stuff. Just help me, give me some money so I can use the money to pay my bills, to pay my student loan, to pay credit card. Paid bills are the best Christmas gift, best birthday gift, best any type of gift. Argue with yourself. But I don't need all this extra stuff. Just give me the money, yo. Just straight up tell them, yo, I'm gonna use the money to pay my student loan, pay my credit card debt, or or add it to my savings account. Straight up, right?
I've spent a lot of money on a lot of gifts that my kids have never used, but other families have because we passed them on. Now we're going to talk about best money. The best money I've ever spent was buying my mom her first home, buying my dad his first home that was paid for. I mean, as a kid, you have these dreams to, you know, especially going to the inner city, to make it out and to bring your family along and buy your mama this dream home and buy your dad, you know, a nice car or a nice home as well. And I was able to do that. And also for my kids, you know, the best money I've spent on them has been able to give them the education that I didn't have. You know, put them in some of the best schools to the point where my kids at a certain age, maybe about 10, they feel they're smarter than me. So that's the challenge that we have in our house when you pay for their education. But that's the best money I spent because I've given them, you know, the key to a different kind of knowledge that a lot of kids in the inner city when I was growing up, we just didn't have. The best money I've ever spent or invested is the money that I did not spend. I think we all are in this world where we feel that we have to invest our money to make money. But sometimes the best money that you spend is the money that you do not spend. I bought a home that it was kind of like taking that money that would have been in the bank. I put it into something. I put it into property. And now when I go back to sell that home, you're able to either get the money you put in or you're able to get more.
So that's the thing, right? So once you are happy with how much money you have in your bank account, like let's say 3 to 6 months worth of expenses or even 12 months covered, then the extra additional money you have coming in should not just be sitting in your account, right? It needs to be put into property or another business venture or something that's making you more money. Inflation is catching up. I think the last time I checked, the CPA or I forget the name, but inflation is about 2%. That means every year from now, whatever, let's say something costs $1, it'll add 2% to the actual cost. And the bank accounts, for most bank accounts, the interest rate in your savings account is like trash, like 0.00 something percent. So either put it into a high interest savings account that counteracts inflation, or put it into property, another business venture, or something else that's making you more money than the 2% of inflation, right? So yeah.
Because of, you know, the appreciation value of the house. The secret to financial wellness is to have a plan. You know, I think for me, you know, sitting down quarterly with my financial advisor, every time it's about having a plan, right? Sitting down, she said, what do you want? And my answer back was, I would love to live the same lifestyle that I live while playing an NBA when I'm not playing. How can I get to that point? What do I have to do to maintain this level of lifestyle? And we had to sit down and come up with a plan. And that plan allows me to understand, like, okay, I got a budget, I can't spend over this, or if I go over, okay, I gotta make some money somewhere else, I gotta hustle.
Yeah.
So I think for me, is if you have a plan, then you know where you're going. The best financial advice I ever got was to get rid of about 16 cars. My financial advisor, Ginger, came in and said, okay, so that Maybach, the one that costs $6,000 a month, you don't drive it. How about we get rid of it? That's somebody's house note. And I was like, no, I'm not getting rid of it. 2 weeks later, I watched it get taken away from my home. So the best advice I got is to get rid of it.
Mans that have 6 plus or 2 plus, I'm like, yo, how many cars do you actually need? How many cars are you actually gonna be driving? On God, like straight up, no capping. Cause even me, bruh, I don't even have my G2. I don't know, maybe I'm a different type of guy, but like 6 cars, fam, I don't know about all that. 1 car, I take a minimalistic approach to a lot of my life. Just a simple man. Just stack your money, act broke, get your bread, and all the crumbs too. Simple philosophy.
All these cars that depreciate in value, just spend a lot of money on. I actually have 1 car now. I have a modest Audi Q8. That's all I have right now. My slogan when it comes to money is, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So that's it. That's the story of my financial history.
You done know. Hey man, stay in your bag like the fries at the bottom. Simple. Save your money first. Pay off some debt. Right? $1,000. Pay off all your debt. Cut off your credit cards for a little bit. Once you've built the habit of saving first, pay off the debt. 3 to 6 months worth of expenses covered. And then maybe, you can use a credit card again. I'm just saying, man. Like for online payments, just use a PayPal. Usually pretty much you're protected with PayPal. But yo, hopefully this gave you some insights and some things to think about to apply to your own financial life. But yo, God bless, much love, peace and joy. Namaste. Always remember, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. And too much of any good thing is good for nothing. Alright, my G. Deuces.
My day, yeah.